Thank you for joining us on another episode of Popcorn for Breakfast. With me, as always, live in Technicolor, your co-host, Kirk.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Kirk. I'm your other co-host, Cam. We are back on the stream Monday night, December 19th. Feels good. Kirk was on death's door last week. He was I don't even know. It was not good.
Few people know what happened to me because I basically slept for 4.5 days. It was
What you should do.
Quite insane. I love sleeping. I love naps, but wow, that was just something so different for me. It was crazy. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think you had the flu, my friend. It had
Influenza.
all the earmarks of the flu. So, I'm sorry about that. That sucks.
No.
Glad you
I'm
survived.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's good that you're taking ownership. How dare you get sick and deprive our listeners of a review of another Pinocchio film? How sickening. I was like, oh, thank God I don't have to talk about another Pinocchio film.
And I woke up just long enough to watch that movie.
Oh,
And
you did?
I felt like I was just it was one of my nightmares while I was dreaming in my slumber.
Well, that makes sense because it's Guillermo del Toro, so he has a bit of a dream-esque aesthetic that he brings along with him, if you want to call it that, maybe a nightmare-esque. And I love the composer Alexander Desplat, who did the original music for that. I was just talking over the weekend about how he makes music sound so dreamy, so dreamlike. When that movie, The Shape of Water, Academy Award Best Picture winner, came out, I listened to that score so much because it entranced me. But I liked the new Pinocchio. I have to say, like, I hate, it's well documented on this podcast, I despise Pinocchio, the story, and I despise the fact that there have been 5 trillion adaptations, but they managed to hook, line, and sink me once again because Ewan McGregor was Jiminy, or Sebastian J. Cricket, I think his name it was in this one.
Yeah.
And, they had Christoph Waltz, and Kate Blanchett plays a monkey, and, I was just like, well, I'm going to watch it. And I actually enjoyed it because I felt like the layer of the sort of post World War I into World War II era, layering that into the story gave it some meaning. But it's, at the end of the day, it's Pinocchio. So
It's always Pinocchio. And I don't know, will we ever go 5 years without a Pinocchio movie?
no chance.
I don't I don't see it in sight, and I
No.
really wish. It's kind of like road construction. Like Pinocchio is to film as road construction is to everywhere,
Life, yes,
all
I
the
agree.
time.
It will always come back. It will always come back around. I don't know why that is. I hate that is the case. And the next one that comes out, I will rage about. But this one I tolerated it.
Yeah.
But we're here, Kirk. We're back. We're gonna do some What's Poppin' action. We are in the week of Christmas now. Hanukkah's going on right now for any Jewish listeners out there. Happy Hanukkah to you guys. Christmas is breathing down our necks, and that's a lot of pressure. You know, the big man coming to your house. You got to have it cleaned up. You got to have the cookies ready, the milk. Some people do carrots for the reindeer. I do. I just leave the cookies. I'm like, if Santa wants to share the cookies with the reindeer, by all means. I'm not buying carrots. What about
Cameron,
you?
that's poison to reindeer.
I don't think that's
The
true. They're
chocolate?
magical beings. Of course, well, if they can eat that, they're not dogs.
You know how in the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, Santa falls off the roof and
Yes.
Mom takes over? You have probably killed, oh my goodness, how old are your kids? 35 reindeer in the past
Oh no.
by giving them the cookies and the carrots.
So
Your
is
mom
it the same replacement cycle there? I mean, there's lots of reindeer at the North Pole, so I assume they have a depth chart. You know, they
Yeah,
just
they've
kind
got a
of
farm. They've got a farm, but I think if a dog discovers the reindeer, like if they fall off the roof from a terrible poisonous stomach ache, like a dog or a cat then grows into the
they
reindeer, I think
anamorph.
that's they anamorph, that's right.
They anamorph into a reindeer, and the next morning you're like, "Where's Blackie?" And it's just gone. It's now a reindeer for Santa.
And you
Wow, that
lave
sounds like a Guillermo del Toro Christmas movie right there.
you heard it first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure, man. You got to do all the wrapping. You got to watch the movies. You got to watch the Christmas movies because if you're like me, you really have until New Year's. I don't extend beyond that. Like once New Year's rolls by, I'm done watching Christmas movies. Like
Yeah.
there's no slow trickle. It's over. It's just a hard off. So,
Yeah.
um yeah, it's a lot of pressure. It's
Yeah,
a lot of
except
pressure.
for, Christmas in July. That's always acceptable.
Christmas in July. Yeah. Which why is it July? Why isn't it why is it Christmas in July? Just because that sounds better than Christmas in June? Shouldn't it be Christmas in June?
It should be Christmas in June, but it is always Christmas in July, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't really know. I don't know why that's the case. But here we are. I'm sick this week. I've got a cold. Every single person in my house has some sort of virus that's happening right now. I'm glad that it's happening prior to Christmas, hopefully, so we
Yes.
can get it out of our system. But I was like lone survivor this weekend. My whole house was like leveled with fevers, and now I've got the virus, but I don't have a fever yet. So
Yeah.
we'll just see what happens. But home stretch. So
It's a weird time.
it is. For programming notes, we're going to do this episode, right? What's popping? We're going to talk about the news. Then we're going to have one more movie review. And I think, Kirk, that's going to be it for 2022. That's going to be it. And that movie is Kirk's lovely green screen. I mean, not green screen.
No, no, I'm
Kirk is
coming to
actually
you.
coming live from Pandora right now.
I'm right up
Um,
here with the Hallelujah Mountains. I am ready to hop off on my Ikran
yes.
and shala halala with the Ikran and
And
become
fly
one and
away.
fly away. I'm looking for about a 30 to 40-minute flight scene following
Yeah.
my leap. And maybe you can join me if you
Time
see our
moves
episode.
slower in Pandora. They just everything everything takes a long time there. Yeah. So maybe this episode will take longer since Kirk's there. Maybe it has something to do with like relativity or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but I know if there's one thing I've learned from the Avatar films so far, it's that it takes a long time for things to happen on that planet. So
Yeah.
we will be reviewing Avatar: The Way of Water this week. Kirk and I are going to record that right after we get off of this What's Poppin' live stream. And you should tune in for that one. We are going to be talking. I mean, we're not going spoiler free, but because a lot of people saw this movie this weekend, we hope you are among them. And we saw it in IMAX 3D, so we'll be able to give full visual perspective as we saw it in the utmost format,
Yes.
for so you can get the full download. But we'll be doing that later this week. But before we get into all that, let's do what's poppin', Kirk. Let's talk about the news.
Let's go.
All right. First up, if you thought we were done with this topic, sorry about you, because with each passing week, the layers of this story continue to multiply and expand and get weirder. It continues to get weirder. So, in a shocking or maybe not shocking turn of events based on who you are, last week, or was it last week or maybe 2 weeks ago? It's been 2 weeks since we've done an episode, so I can't keep track. Henry Cavill announced via his Instagram that he would, in fact, not be returning as the Man of Steel, Clark Kent, Superman. He would not be returning. And this is what, I don't know, 2 months after he had announced via Instagram that he would be returning as Superman following his very popular Black Adam post credits cameo. So this sparked a whole slew of news. One of the stories that dropped via via the Hollywood Reporter. I'm in the Christmas spirit, so I'm saying holiday, but via the Hollywood Reporter reported that Wonder Woman 3 is gone, Man of Steel 2 is gone, Henry Cavill's not coming back, Gal Gadot's not coming back. There will be no more Aquaman movies after the second one that comes out this year. Jason Momoa done as Aquaman. Basically, for all intents and purposes, a hard reboot. Now, James Gunn did come out on Twitter and say some of these things are true, some of these things are not true. You know, me and Peter Safran, being co-CEOs of DC, we have a plan. We're going to share more in January. But yes, Henry Cavill is not returning as the Man of Steel. And we are starting our story. One of the key pillars of our story is going to be a young Superman film. So most people, Kirk, are assuming this means a hard reboot of the DC universe. Is that how you are interpreting this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The only thing I will not accept is Timothy Chalamet as Superman. Anything else is fair game.
Well, didn't he say that Leo DiCaprio's advice to him was no hard drugs and no superhero movies?
That's true. So we're probably fine.
I
as
think
long
we're
as
probably
he
in
takes
the clear.
Advice.
So I want to know what Leo DiCaprio's take is on Willy Wonka origin films.
Mhm.
That was not on in the fine print.
It's not
Apparently,
per se a cape, but it is a flowy jacket at times.
and a
So
large purple top hat. I mean, that's, I don't know. It's a fine line, but so you're in favor. You're in favor of a hard reboot of the DC extended universe, now to be called the DC universe,
yes, big fan. Big fan.
even though your beloved Henry Cavill is gone.
I am okay with it because I don't know. It just maybe there's room for it later on. Like maybe we get back to the beginning here and get Superman figured out, and in like the extended planets colliding big merge up later. Then you can bring Henry back, like if he wants to. But there's not a real point to it now, and I'm willing to sacrifice Henry for the greater good of the DCU.
Yeah, I mean, I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment. In fact, like, I wasn't overly married to Man of Steel. Like, I liked the movie, but I wasn't like, I'm not one of these people who was like super Snyderverse chomping at the bit for a Man of Steel 2. Like that's not my jam.
Yeah,
But what gives me pause here, so we have multiple DCEU films releasing next year, including um, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, The Flash, which was supposed to be this sort of big multiversal kickoff, you know, the Flash film, Blue Beetle, um, which that thing has been so under the radar. I know nothing about that film. I thought it was going to be an HBO Max exclusive, but then James Gunn tweeted it as like only in theaters. I have no idea. And then Shazam, Fury of the Gods. So uh, we know that the Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot cameos that were filmed for The Flash were cut. Does that mean, what does that mean? Because what is the point of cutting those cameos? Does that just mean that those cameos must have alluded to more down the line? Or like, it makes me nervous that maybe the Flash will continue to live on in this post DCEU world. How are you interpreting that?
Yeah, maybe they were gonna say, definitely like a Superman Flash movie. Maybe there were just more team up illusions, and they just needed to nix all of those options. I mean, we never got to see Superman versus the Flash, the iconic race. Never got to see it. So there's a good chance that that was in the works or a possibility to be a door to be left open. No idea what Flash and Gal Gadot are gonna do, but yeah, I think it's fine. I think cut everything. Cut. I mean, just don't even show the Flash. I mean, we've been calling for that for a while now. I don't see why they can't just nix this as well.
I think that's a good point. It'll be fascinating to watch over the next 12 months. Like, is DC like how do they handle this next year of releases? So you've got David Zaslav at the helm at Warner. He's been slashing shows left, right, and center, slashing projects, taking tax write-offs. He's taking shows that were canceled off of HBO so they can get tax write-offs for them and they want to pay royalties. Like he is slashing budget like crazy. So that leads me to believe that The Flash and all these films that are basically baked, done, ready to go are hitting the theaters. Like they're coming out. Um, but what does the marketing strategy look like for that? It's like, come see The Flash, a film that ties into nothing and builds to nothing. Like,
And the main
I,
character you hate,
will
the
they
actor.
like? Will they do like reshoots for the end of Aquaman to make it tie a bow on whatever this whole mess is? I'm so confused.
I don't know. Is there someone from the DC universe that can like break the fourth wall? Do we have any characters like that?
No, not
Darn.
currently.
Of course we don't.
If they
They
did like
should make
if
one.
they had like a Booster Gold movie or which I,
Yes.
I think was in the plans for a while. Like if they're making a Blue Beetle movie, the thought was they would do a Booster Gold and Blue Beetle movie that could work. Um, but no,
I mean,
they did like no, I can't. I don't know. I don't know who it would be.
or is there an interdimensional character who would just make sense where they could just like all of a sudden their screen like just like grabs the whole page off of the screen to a white porky like it's as if Porky Pig was like gonna say that's all folks, but
Bree,
it's
bree, that's all, folks. Yeah.
maybe that's the best option. Bring
Dun, dun,
Porky
dun,
Pig to
dun. They
rip it
show the
off.
WB logo. That's an option. No, I mean there are DC characters, like Spectre, like his power is basically everything. I mean there there are options, but it's pretty late in the game. I'm so fascinated by this. I think it's going to be insane to watch. And then there's these other layers into this mess, Kirk. So you've got um Dwayne Johnson.
Ugh,
Holy mother of God. What this dude is having a bad PR week. Okay. So it was reported that he refused a cameo in the Shazam movie because he was, you know, this is paraphrasing. They had a quote in the thing from an unnamed source that was like, he's only here to play in the big leagues, meaning like with Superman or with his own solo film. So there's that. And then there's that report from the Holiday Reporter that basically Dwayne Johnson what like forced the Henry Cavill thing as former DC head Walter Hamada was kind of out the door as a kind of desperation attempt to grab some power at DC. They said that Henry Cavill was basically like a pawn in his plan to grab some power. So that to me sounds like a failed coup. Like he saw a power vacuum and was like, if I can get the fans to latch on to me because I successfully redeliver Henry Cavill, then they'll have no choice but to fill the power vacuum with me, because I was the one who brought the fans back to DC, which is insane and totally changes my opinion of Dwayne Johnson if that's true. I don't know. What was your reaction to all that mess?
yeah, you know the Leo meme where, from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where he was snapping, he's pointing at the TV. All I can think about is Vin Diesel doing that in the same getup, pointing at his phone, totally exposing the garbage tactics and manipulation that Dwayne the Rock Johnson does. It has to be true. It has to be like those things that aren't just fabricated. There's a lot of rumors in Hollywood, but when they're really specific, like Army Hammer cannibalism specific, it's like, whoa, that's
Yeah, it's
real.
like who would come up with that?
Right.
Um, Yeah, that it's one of those stories you hear and you're like, yeah, that kind of it kind of lines up because he was doing this big thing on the press tour. Remember, he was like pretty robotic on his press tour for that movie. He kept
Yes.
saying the same things over and over again,
Yes.
and he kept referring to the fact that we at DC are, giving the fans what they want. That we're in a new era where we're going to give the fans what they want. And I always thought that was kind of odd. And now that you hear this sort of build onto that, which is that he was kind of grasping for power, it makes sense. It makes sense that that was the angle there.
Yeah.
So it's a mess, but I'm with you. I think hard reboot is coming. I don't even know that there are rumors that the characters associated with James Gunn's The Suicide Squad will persist. I think people are just saying that because it's a good guess, right? But I don't even know. I don't even know that that's true because I think I really do. The vibe that I'm getting from James Gunn and Peter Safran is they want to totally pull the plug on this thing and build it from the ground up. Um, they're in a tenuous position because people are grabbing at everything. They're trying to stop them before they can even get off the ground. They want them to fail. There are certain people out there. There's the Snyder cult who wants them to fail. There's any number of people who want this to crash and burn. there was even there was a guy, a writer at DC, who posted a picture of himself wearing a DC Studios hoodie that had a logo that included like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, etc. It was like very reminiscent of that like old Justice League logo, and everybody was like, "OMG, DC Studios new logo leaked, and look at Aquaman, it's not Jason Momoa." And it was just went crazy, and then DC had to be like, "No, that's not our logo. Like, please just wait till January when we can release everything." And
Right.
James Gunn has already had to do like 5 super long Twitter threads to be like, "Everybody calm down. Here's what's happening." Like, it's just I'm eager to hear what their plan is. I'm sure you are as well.
Yeah.
But until that time, we'll have to wait and see.
It's 2 weeks, guys. It's literally 2
I know
weeks.
January's right there, and I think they're probably going to have some big, hopefully, like either a fan event or some way of revealing it that's similar to how Marvel has done with rolling out their phases and everything. I think it would be good to have the clarity and to hear it from them. So we'll see. We'll see. Lots of happening at DC Studios. Some good, some bad, some very, very strange.
Before we move on, 2 things. Just a
Yes.
reminder that we are from St. Louis, and so is James Gunn. I think James Gunn should listen to our podcast, promote us, have us on this big reveal. I think that'd be pretty
Yeah.
fun.
That's a
And number
small ask, right?
and number 2, I think more importantly, you guys like the frame of your glasses is almost identical, so I think that you guys can connect on that, and then that's
And our
our
hair.
leg in. I mean, look at it. He's got great hair. You've got great hair. It's a perfect match.
I just have to dye mine white. Maybe people will think I am James Gunn.
Ooh, I like this idea.
It
I
could
like this
work.
a lot.
I could cosplay as James Gunn. Then he would have to come on our show. Um,
And then you
we'll
say,
see.
"Who's who?" And then you switch places with him.
Spider-Man meme.
Prince and the
Yeah.
Pauper, you take over DC.
And he's trapped here in podcast purgatory for all of forever in my basement. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. Moving along. Finally, maybe done talking about DC at least for one more week. At least for one more week, right? Okay. For the remainder of the show, we are going to do trailer reactions. You probably gleaned that from the title of this episode. We're gonna do 3 trailers. I only named 2 in the
Yeah.
title because I forgot the other one. So it's a
Oh.
special surprise. But the big thing that people are talking about in the film community next year is the weirdest duel in the history of weird duels, which is Barbie versus Oppenheimer, right? Are you Team Barbie or are you Team Oppenheimer? Is the question people are asking. And so, Kirk, here's what we're going to do. We're going to watch both trailers back to back without audio, so YouTube doesn't pull us down, right?
Mhm.
But you and I have both seen these trailers. We're going to watch them. And then we're going to talk about, are we Team Barbie or are we Team Oppenheimer right now, as of right now, based on what we have seen?
with
Okay.
no other information and with no other
That's right.
speculation, like strictly if this was the movie, if these two and
No,
a half to
what?
three, right? Is that were you
No.
not saying that?
No, I was not saying
Oh,
that. I'm saying you
okay.
can speculate as to what the movie will be based on the
Oh,
trailer. I think that's only natural.
oh, okay. I thought as if you were to only this
So,
is
like,
it.
yeah, just pick the trailer is what you're saying? Like,
Pick
which
the
trailer is
trailer,
better?
and if you're wrong, there's a consequence when we see the movies.
What? How can you be it's subjective. It's subjective.
I just
Okay,
want wagers in my life, Cameron. I
before
need
Kirk
something to live for.
makes this more convoluted and sad than it already is, let's let's start. What are we doing?
Wait, before we start,
Yes.
since we're here, I mean, should we like really amp up our trailer reactions? Because I feel like a lot of time I smile and I nod and I'm like,
Like old school YouTube trailer
that's great.
reactions. Is that
Yeah.
still a thing? Do people still do that?
They
Um,
definitely do it on the Tickety Talk. I don't
yeah.
know if they do it anywhere else. But like, give me an example of a shocked moment if you were watching the. Oh my, that is that is the
Yeah.
most beautiful shocked
Thank
face
you.
I've ever
Thank
seen.
you.
Give me an emotion, and I just want to give that to our viewers today too.
There we go. Good. Oh, I had to give you I thought you were saying to do an emotion.
I needed a direction, but
All right,
I
here we go. I'm
love.
gonna give you an emotion. It's gonna be an abstract emotion.
Oh gosh.
Um, Contentment. Good. No notes. A plus. Very good, Kirk. All right, let's just watch these stupid trailers, okay?
Roll
Wait,
it. Oh
wait. One more thing. I have a
yeah.
bone to pick. We went to see Avatar in IMAX, and I was told via the Twitters that there would be a trailer for Oppenheimer. This trailer was supposed to show, and we didn't get this trailer, did we, Kirk? We got the old one. We got the teaser. I was ticked off about that. That was stupid. Like those IMAX tickets were dang near $19 a piece.
Yeah, I had to sell my
And
dog. It was
yeah, right?
sad.
It was absurd. Around the holidays, I mean, it's highway robbery. And we didn't
Yeah.
even get to see the trailer we wanted to see.
My guess, and this is just a little teaser into our Avatar experience up till minute 3, mind you, of the movie. They left the lights on the entire time,
Oh my gosh.
even after it started playing,
Amateur
and
hour.
they, I venture to say they put the wrong reel on. I think that was the old reel. They were supposed to unbox the new one that probably had the new
Oh, the trailer
Oppenheimer
reel?
trailer. Yeah,
Could
I
be
th
because there was
I
no
think
Barbie teaser either.
right?
And I think that we were supposed to see that as well.
Yeah, man, you guys dropped the ball, and I'm gonna go talk to them about it
I think we
tonight.
should. I want my
Uh,
$19
I
back.
gotta go. I'll be right back. I can't do the trailer reactions.
All right. I'm starting with Oppenheimer. We're starting with Oppenheimer. Executive decision. Here we go.
Okay.
Oppenheimer trailer. Now you're probably thinking, is this the teaser trailer again? Because they both start with the fire thing. But no, because now you get to see Killian Murphy's beautiful, glassy gray eyes. He has the exact same eyes as J. Robert Oppenheimer. I was on Wikipedia earlier, and I can see why he was selected here. Um, but there's a whole voiceover here about how scary the atom bomb is. They're showing him put it together. There's lots of Chris Nolan-esque imagery going on here for those listening in podcast form. This is really bad radio. But tensions are high. They're making an atom bomb. Killian Murphy has a great accent. He sounds great. He's totally in character here.
He's lost like 75 pounds. He's so
When he was
skinny.
already a rail.
Right.
Josh Peck is in this movie. Drake and
Surprise.
Josh. Jack Quaid is in this. We don't see Robert Downey Jr., no RDJ, no Matt Damon. There's so many people in this cast. They have it looks like a Lollapalooza poster. There's so many names on it. It's absolutely ridiculous. And yet, in this trailer, we get Killian Murphy, Jack Quaid, and Josh Peck.
But
And that's
mostly Killian.
mostly Killian Murphy, which is great. You can never have too much Killian Murphy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think he's great. So exciting stuff. One thing is for certain. You will not be able to hear a single word of spoken dialogue in this film. No, and I mean that. You yeah, like you need to go to the showing with the subtitles because I could promise you, knowing Chris Nolan films the way that I do, this thing is gonna blast your eardrums out
Yeah,
with every loud Hans Zimmer organ chord you've ever heard in your life. And Killian Murphy's gonna be talking in his soft, silky tones, and you won't be able to hear a dang thing. Not one word.
that's true. That's true. I
That is
didn't
true.
understand Tenet. I mean, we saw Tenet in the theater, and then I
Oh my
immediately went
gosh.
and watched it at home because it was released, and I was like, I gotta know what they said to review this movie. So,
Outrageous.
oh man, yeah, that's so true. That's so true. I do appreciate that they do the closed caption viewings more and more.
Yes,
I think that should be like even more regular,
I agree.
because it's important. It really is important, and it's a great viewing uh, experience if you like to have the subtitles on, and if you're hard of hearing or deaf, it's a fantastic accessibility to see these movies on the big screen.
Absolutely.
Without that, they've got those devices, but you have to situate them just right, and not every theater has them like they're supposed to. So yeah, I mean, absolutely right. There's a lot of fire in this movie also, Cam. I don't know if you saw how much fire.
Lots
I
of
mean,
fire.
if I was a betting man, I mean, if they did this in 4D, they would just like light the room on fire while you
A
watch
guy
it.
walks in halfway through with a flamethrower and just torches everybody. Seriously, that's what it seems like. All right, let's do Barbie. Let's do
Okay.
Barbie. Here we go. Now,
Bum, bum,
yeah, actually we could
bum,
probably play the audio for this one because it's the 2001 A Space Odyssey
bum,
music,
bum,
but there is a
doom, doom,
Helen
doom,
Mirren
doom.
voiceover.
Yeah, they'd catch us. They
So they'd
always
get
do.
us. They'd nail us there. But this is a this is a very different style of trailer. This first of all, it's a true teaser. They show what I assume is very little from the actual film here. I don't know if the giant Margot Robbie Barbie will be in the movie. Like if this whole 2001 A Space Odyssey deal will occur in the film, but we get a few like quick flashes of like Barbie Town and such after. So it really is a true teaser in every sense of the word. But obviously, Greta Gerwig and team were going for something eye catching. It's reminiscent of like the 1984 Mac commercial, the very famous Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
Um, but we see Issa Rae, Simu Liu, uh, various other Barbies and Kens and Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie. And that's basically where we're at. So, Kirk, I'll put you on the spot first.
Thank you.
Based on what we've seen, are you team Oppenheimer or team Barbie at this moment?
Team Barbie gets a lot of street cred with the creative teaser. I do hope it is only a teaser. I really hope that's not in the movie, honestly. Um, but I have to lean towards the Oppenheimers. That is the movie that I'm thinking is going to be the winner here.
Yeah, I am. So first of all, my assumption is that the 2001 A Space Odyssey stuff will not be in the film. Um, but it is basically shot for shot. There's a lot of people who have done side by side videos on Twitter and YouTube showing, how they recreated the shots and instead of the monolith and the gorillas, it's the young girls and the dolls and Barbie. It's all very creative. It's all very fun. It is an interesting move to compare yourself by way of imitation to I don't know, one of the most famous movies of all time, certainly one of the most ambitious films of all time, and perhaps one of the greatest films of all time in 2001: A Space Odyssey. I mean, that's a movie that is probably I honestly do think it's the most ambitious movie ever made. Like Stanley Kubrick sat down and said, "What if I made a movie about every single thing that there ever
Yes.
was and is?" Like it's insane. It's insanely ambitious and it's a crazy movie. So I think that's a bold choice, but I'm leaning Team Barbie.
All right.
It's Greta and it's Noah Baumbach. I just feel like that writing team I have no idea what they have cooked up here from a tone perspective. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. It obviously looks very goofy, very absurd. But I don't know thematically what they're going to go for. I think it'll be interesting because Mattel obviously had to sell the rights to get this movie made. They have to protect their brand. What are they going for here? It's so intriguing. I can't get over the intrigue. I know that Oppenheimer will be fantastic. I do, because Chris Nolan does two things really, really, really well: mind bending thriller slash sci-fi action films and historical dramas. And it's a historical drama. He's got a great cast. He's got all the money in the world, and it's something that he's passionate about. I know it's going to be a banger, but Barbie just it has my intrigue. I'm totally enthralled by it.
Yeah,
So
Oppenheimer could even become a classic in film. Just like watch this movie if you want to go direct something, right?
yeah,
But Barbie creatively could be something so unique. Like you don't have Margot Robbie. You have Barbie-like characters, Barbie-like actresses in different decades, but you don't have Margot Robbie, and there's something very specific how she can be Barbie. Like you heard the casting, you're like, well, yeah, of course
had to
they're
be
casting
had to be
her.
Margot.
I do worry about her smile. Her smile is a little still Harley Quinn. I don't know how you manipulate your smile or the makeup to make it not as I don't know, for Barbie, her smile isn't as wide. It's a little adjusted down. It's a little more horizontal. But maybe that's because of her moving her face down is why it looked so wide. It's just very specific. Like
No, I agree
that's
with that,
ridiculous a
and I
note. I
feel
mean,
like other than the Space Odyssey scene, it looks right. Like in the other, like the scene that everybody has seen, the pictures of them roller skating with the pink, neon outfits on, the picture of her in the Barbie convertible, kind of like looking to the side and smiling. Like those pictures, it looks right. But I
yeah.
agree with you that it was a little bit like weird and creepy and Harley Quinn esque in this teaser. So
Right, right, and maybe that I might have spoken too soon. I might have answered my own question as I was speaking it. When you're smiling and then you move, you're gonna get a different angle. It's gonna cause an illusion. But if that's the only thing that's wrong is just this teaser, then I don't know. It's a tough competition. It's a really tough competition. I mean, I was wrong from the get-go because I thought we were just gonna rate just the trailer, and that was gonna determine what
wrong,
was gonna be the best movie,
wrong.
and, now I gotta come up with some ridiculous wager. I mean, I'm
Yes.
game if you're down.
So where we're at right now is July 21st, 2023. The movies drop. Thursday night premieres are here. You're buying tickets for Oppenheimer. I'm buying tickets for Barbie. That's what's happening. That's what's happening right now.
Yes,
We'll
that is
see.
correct.
We'll see. We got a couple more trailers to go. We don't have a full trailer for Barbie yet, so we'll see. There will obviously be more promotional materials. We got 7 months till these movies come out, so we will see. But I think both great first looks. I think I'm excited about both of them. Um, Speaking of great first looks, we do have one more trailer to
Oh,
discuss, and it's one that I didn't include in the title because I forgot about it. And how did I forget about it, Kirk? It's only one of my most anticipated movies ever. I mean, it's I don't know. I've been waiting. We were supposed to get this movie in October of this year, and it got delayed, and we were crushed. We were hurt, deeply hurt. But now we have a trailer, we have a release date, and that film is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
there it
And
is.
here it is. Um, so one thing I want to point out, this is me being weird, getting paranoid, okay, because it's
Yeah,
Sony and I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Um, as a brand, I trust them. As a film house, I struggle to trust them at times.
yeah.
But it doesn't say part one anymore. Did you notice that?
Mm.
It just says Across the Spider Verse. It said it right at the beginning with the like stupid trailer starts now thing that they do. I hate that. Um, but it doesn't say part one. Why does it not say part one?
Do you think it's like the Dune effect, right? Like when you go to a movie and it is part 1, like traditionally, you don't say the first, right?
Yeah, it's like the Queen of
Avatar the
England.
first, you know?
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they're going for, and then when you get to the title card, when it hits in the theater, it's gonna say part 1. Maybe even not even until the credits roll. That's even a possibility. That's my
Yeah,
takeaway from this.
I hope so. Well, I don't know why I hope so. I'm just confused. Like, is this a part one or isn't it? Um, and what does that really mean in the context of this franchise? Because we don't know how many films there will be. So, like, is this part one of two, and two is the finale of this whole thing? Like, I hope not. Um, but anywho, that's just one
Right.
thing that I've noticed. But really, in this trailer, I have to admit, my initial take is they didn't give us much. Like, there's some recycled footage at the beginning. There's one scene of Miles and his mother discussing him, and she's kind of expressing concern for him. And then there's a couple of like really quick, like blink and you miss it type giant spider battles in what
Yeah.
appears to be like the sanctum of all Spider-Mans in the multiverse. But that's really it. Like, you get Gwen saying like, we're supposed to be the good guys, and uh Spider-Man 2099, he's played by Oscar Isaac, is like, we are, like, we are the good guys or whatever. Um I don't know, there's not a lot to go off of here. Did you have a different take?
No, I thought the same thing. I watched it, and it was as if you gave me the teaser that we got, 3, 4 months ago, whatever it might have been. It really was pretty identical. They just went with a couple of, spectacular moments where you get all the Spider-Men to get people chatting and try to get those screenshots going on. I'm still excited about it. I'm sad for you about the part 1 being dropped. I hope you can make it through until June of next year.
Will my heart be able to take it, Kirk? Will my anxiety crush me like a pressure cooker?
I'll
I
go
don't know.
watch the movie first. I'll let you know. And then everything will be okay. I'll proof it for you.
Yeah, I really need them to tell me. I thought about tweeting at Chris Lord or Phil Lord and Chris Miller and being like, "Yo, what?
You
The
should.
part one? Where's the part one? Is it
Yeah.
is it is it a part one or is it not? I need to know." Um, this movie, I'm excited about all the Spider-Mans because I like to be um I like to be overstimulated with with film. I want all of the things. In fact, I found myself when I was watching the first film in theaters, I was yearning for more Spider-Mans and women, um, and things, pigs. I
Yeah.
wanted more more of them. I was like, "Aw, we only get, whatever, these 5," but it was the exact right thing to do, and the whole thing was so well balanced, and that movie is chef's kiss, beautiful, love it. Great superhero film, one of the best ever. But I'll be interested to see, now that they are scaling it up, and now that you've got, you know, seemingly hundreds of spider peoples out there, including the PlayStation Spider-Mans, both the new one and the one from the PS1, which I love. Uh, it's all very exciting as a Spider fan, but I'll be interested to see how it scales. Obviously, it looks like Spider-Man 2099 and Issa Rae's Spider-Woman and Spider-Punk and those guys will be sort of the new prominent people in this film, but they're going to have you know, a lot more to balance with this one
Right.
for sure.
Right. I'd like there to be some spider podcasters, and I'd like to elect ourselves as those spider men.
Well,
And
certainly, I would love to be a spider person. I don't think I have what it takes. I need to find a radioactive spider
yeah.
first, or a radioactive pig. I laughed so hard IRL whenever I found out that Peter Porker, Spider Ham, was a spider that was bitten by a radioactive pig
Yeah.
and not the other way around. It's just hilarious in so many ways. um, but I digress. The Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, Toby Maguire thing is definitely happening in this film.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was rumored in the first one they had tried for it. Now that movie is a smash hit, culturally iconic film, I think that it's got to be happening in this one. Got to.
Yeah. I think this is where we figure out how they're going to bring Tom Holland in and pixelize him and then spit him back out so that way we can get Miles Morales back into the other part of the MCU. I think this is the stepping stone. This is
I
it.
guess, man, if they want Shamik Moore as the MCU Miles,
I say take him, man. Take him.
I think it would be great. I have serious reservations about Sony's Spider-Verse being able to pull that off based on the fact that, you know, they're making an El Muerto movie and now they're making a Hypno Hustler movie, who are two of the most obscure Spider-Man villains. Like, I didn't even know who El Muerto was whenever they said it. And Hypno Hustler, I was like, who? What is happening here? Donald Glover? Like, I'm so confused. But their live action stuff, you know, whether it be Venom or Morbius or God knows what else, it's been a mess. Morbius much more so than Venom for sure, but I'm not exactly eager to see them try to pull something off here. I would be much more happy with Kevin Feige ushering that era forward, which I guess is what you're suggesting anyway.
Yeah, but it needs to go back to his court and
So
just let him.
You are officially endorsing Shamik Moore as MCU Miles Morales.
Yes, I have no money to back that endorsement.
That's okay.
But
we don't need money. We just need your heart, Kirk.
I got 2 thumbs.
There you go. There it is. That's worth its weight in gold right there.
Yeah.
All right. So that's Across the Spider-Verse, and that's really the end of what's popping for this week. So for those of you on the stream, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for spending part of your Monday night with us. We love you. You chose us over Packers Rams, which, you know, was a great choice because both of those teams suck. And you can trust me on that because I am a Packers fan currently, and I used to be a Rams fan. And so I'm probably the person you can trust the most when I say that those teams are garbage, trash can teams right now. So you made the right choice, but thank you guys for being here. If you're listening in podcast form, whenever you're listening to it, thank you so much. Like I said, date of recording is 12/19, Kirk. This weekend is Christmas weekend, which is a massive time for film. So let's talk about this, Kirk. Some new releases coming to the theaters this week. Babylon, Damien Chazelle's Babylon. We've got Women Talking, which is, you know, Gold Derby has it currently in the Best Picture race right now on their website. Great site, by the way, to check out if you haven't already, goldderby.com. We've got The Pale Blue Eye, which is a Christian Bale thriller. That one is releasing on Netflix January 6th, but you can see it in theaters this weekend.
Oh.
Living, which is the Bill Nighy movie that he's being considered a Best Actor candidate for. So that's all just in theaters this weekend. On streaming, we've got Disney's $100 million disaster, disaster, I should say. Strange World. Is that unfair? Am I being unfair, Kirk? I think that's a mess. They've lost so much money on that. Kirk's dead. He's dying.
I've lost my lung. Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Disaster. And then not a disaster is Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, which, oh, by the way, is dropping on. Kirk, you can't bite into a glass onion, Kirk. You'll break your teeth.
It will also taste terribly.
And you'll cut up your, what is this?
Esophagus.
You'll cut it up. It'll be bad news.
Trachea.
There was a guy on that show. Do you remember that show, Stan Lee's Superhumans?
Yeah.
There was an Indian guy on that show who was like, I can eat anything. And I remember being like, what? This dude was eating light bulbs. He was like biting into glass containers. It was absurd.
Yeah, man, he's no longer living.
There's no
clearly.
There's no way. But that guy would bite into a glass onion for sure. But that movie releases on Netflix this Friday. As a reminder, we already reviewed it, and we were so nice. We did it spoiler free. So go to youtube.com, search for Popcorn for Breakfast, find our channel, subscribe, watch the video, or go to Apple Podcasts, subscribe, download the episode, and listen to it spoiler free before you view the movie this weekend.
While you eat your glass onion.
While you gobble a glass onion up and then go to the hospital, and you can listen to the podcast on your way to the hospital. So there you go. All right, but that's all we've got for you. What?
There's one more.
No, there's not.
Oh, there is one more, Cam.
What is it? You
It's
don't even know.
Oh, I know it. It's Matilda the Musical releasing on Netflix December 25th.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Wait,
it
what?
is. Yes.
Wait,
Oh,
that's not already out?
I don't play with Matilda the Musical. I don't play with the Matilda character property at all. One of my
Wait, are you
all-time
right? Are you
favorites.
right?
Oh, I am. Are you doubting me live right now?
No, but here's the thing, Kirk. I've seen so many reviews of this
Yep.
already.
Yeah, those are the people who have the jailbroken Amazon Fire Stick. That's who those people are. And they've somehow
No.
found it in the ether or in the dark web.
Is that
If I'm
true?
wrong and it's out there, I will
I
lose my
think
mind.
I think it's out there. Hold on.
No. Don't you dare tell me that I've been living and not staying up till the middle of the night to watch Matilda the Musical.
Oh no, you're right. It says coming Sunday. Christmas
I'm
Day.
relieved. Christmas Day.
Okay, where are these reviews coming from then, Kirk?
From maybe the UK. Maybe they released it early.
Oh,
over
the
there.
UK.
Yeah,
Well, the reviews have not been good, Kirk. They
Well,
have not been good.
Don't you dare.
They haven't. I'm just telling you. I should be the one to let you know that.
I don't care how bad they are. I'm going to love that movie.
Well, we know what Kirk's doing on Christmas Day. Shut up, kids. We're not opening any presents until we watch Matilda the Musical.
I'm becoming the Trunchbull. I'm gonna spin you around this
Emma
room
Thompson.
from your pigtails.
Yeah. Well, good on you. Best of luck with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Matilda the Musical this Sunday.
I couldn't let you close the podcast without talking about her.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
and
you're welcome.
If this is our second to last episode of the season of the year, so if you don't tune into our Avatar review, which by the way you should definitely tune into it. But if you don't, from both Kirk and myself, we were wishing you all a very happy Christmas, as the Brits would say.
Happy Christmas.
A happy Hanukkah if you're celebrating now, to any Jewish listeners, and a happy couple days off if you don't celebrate any of that stuff. So either way, thank you guys so much for being here. Merry Christmas, and we want to give a special thanks to our executive producer, Ryan Spriggs, as well as our incredible band who created our original music, Rhetoric. Catch those guys anywhere you listen or stream your music, and we will see you guys later this week for our review of Avatar.
Merry Christmas.